First of all, James, thank you for your time. I just want to kind of go right back to the beginning of your football journey. As a kid, were you always into football in Australia? Like, how did you get into the whole like footballing world at the beginning?
It all started with, I think, when I was younger, a very young age, like maybe 3, 4 years old, with my father, and he introduced me to football. And ever since then, I just loved it. That was the passion, but like when I was 4 to 6, around there, or 7, then he wanted me to train me, and then like to take it more seriously. So when you're like 7 or 6, or like that age, even younger, 10. It's funny because my dad didn't want me to have fun. He actually wanted me to take it seriously. So
That early?
That early. So that was the discipline of my father. So that's when it all started, around that age, 3 to 4. And then he just trained me every single day.
That's very young, man. 3 to 4.
Yeah, so you tell me about my childhood. That's what my childhood was. And I was consistently, he installed in my backyard 2 lights from both sides, so that at the end of the backyard and right near the house. So we have enough light right in the center for me to train every night.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But like, is he a football player himself?
My dad was not a professional footballer. No, he enjoyed playing football. He was a good footballer. I don't know if he could have made it. Like, I can't tell you that. But my dad's discipline was, if you really want to make it or do anything in football, you got to be very disciplined. So, and he made me want football even more. So.
Did you have any siblings?
I had a younger brother, and my younger brother was 1 year younger than me, and I was always used to play against him, and obviously like make fun of him when I used to play against him. I used to embarrass him, but my dad would like literally tell him, play rougher on him now, so he can understand football. But yeah, so that was my childhood basically back then.
But why football though? Because I know in Aussie, obviously cricket, rugby, Aussie rules, these things are also very
I think because my dad, the passion for football, I think it grew in my family from my grandfather. He loved football. He was a goalkeeper, and honestly, it all started from there. Like, my whole family loved football, so you cannot love football. I know that in Australia we have a lot of like we have rugby, AFL, we have cricket, we're very good as a country in these sports.
Yeah.
But that never fascinated me, and never fascinated my grandfather or my dad. So, and I just fell in love with football in general. So I could never change. So that's what happened.
Who did you support as a kid? Do you remember?
So my grandfather used to support Liverpool.
Oh, nice.
And ever since then, I supported Liverpool, and he supported Liverpool for a long time, and he supported them when they were obviously so good, and I supported them when they were really bad. So when they weren't doing well, they were finishing 8th, 9th, 10th, like they weren't even challenging. But I loved football so much, and I love watching them play. And then now look, they are now one of the top teams and unbelievable side. And so Liverpool's my club.
I'm a United fan, just to let you know, but we can be friends in this
That's
interview.
fine.
It's all good. So what about your first breakthrough? So obviously you are very serious at a very young age.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you were gonna be a professional? Like going up to let's say school, did you think that you had the potential to become professional as a football player?
Yes, 100%. I think because if you don't, I wouldn't put it as an ego. I wouldn't put it as anything like that. I just think if you don't believe in yourself, you're never gonna make it. So you can be humble, and you can be obviously show gratitude to people, 100%. But you gotta be a realist as well sometimes. And if you can't, you're not gonna make it from luck. There's a lot of luck in life, 100%. But if you worked really hard and you have the talent, you'll make it. But you just gotta keep there's gonna be bad days. There's gonna be a lot of bad days, but when you have those good days, trust me, it's gonna be unbelievable. So when I was younger, I had a bit of what's the word I'm going for? I didn't have the confidence. I would play unbelievable one game, and then I wouldn't have the confidence to back it up again. So that's all. That was the problem with my dad. He was trying to find the confidence to just always stay confident and
consistent.
Yeah, because I think I put too much pressure on myself, and I think that was from my father as well. So he was always putting pressure on me, and I always wanted to succeed, and I couldn't find the confidence, and that was just the thing. So as a kid, and then when I reached about 16, I didn't put pressure on myself anymore. So because my dad always put in pressure, I think it was building me to that stage. So then when I reached 16, I didn't care anymore. Like I didn't like have the care factor. I just like go have fun, enjoy yourself. That's when you play your best football.
Yeah.
So when I reached 16 and I made my debut at 16 at Sydney United. So they were playing in the second league. And I made my debut and I did really well. And I'm 16, like I'm looking at guys that are massive on me. And
were you still in school at the time?
I was still at school, of course. And of course, you obviously a bit scared, but like you gotta, like my dad always said, like it's like you don't need to be scared of anything. Like, you know, like he told me there's a lot of things outside of football that, you know, we can't control, but in football you can control football. So enjoy it. And so that was when my debut, and then that's when it started from 16. But from before then, when I was younger in my youth, so I went from all the best youths you can go for in Australia, and I was a bit overlooked, I like to say. But
did you go to trials a lot when you were like younger, like 14, 15 at that age?
Yeah, so when you were like 11, you made reps, it's called, and then I made reps, and then they'll make a New South Wales team, so it will be like a state team for the whole state, New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria. I made that. Then they made I think called Project 22, and that was a very interesting because in each region of the state, so they had like districts. So you had the southern region, the north region, the south and east in that state, and they only pick about 6 boys of your age in the whole region. So that region.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so it
That's
was
tough.
So you had to trial. It was over 250 kids, 300 kids, maybe even more. I can't remember exactly, but it was ridiculous. And a 2-week trial, and I'll just start cutting boys. And I made that for my age, and they'll make it like, for instance, 11s and 12s, and they'll trial each kid. And once you make that, you're part of that program. The program was called Project 22. So in the 2022 World Cup, these kids should be eligible and ready to play the World Cup. That was the Australian.
That was their objective.
Yeah, and that's what Australia made that Project 22
That's
for.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was a big thing, and honestly, there was a lot of pressure on a lot of kids back then because there was so much pressure on parents to make the kid. If you don't make this, you're not going to make it. Basically, like that. So, but I'm telling you, there are a lot of kids didn't make it in that, and I've still representing Australia now. And it's just that obviously it's football. So, but yeah, made everything you could make in Australia, to be honest with you. And then, but I chose not to go with the A-League systems and proceed from the second league or NPL, the second league, and stay in that. And then obviously go overseas, what I've done, but yeah. So
how did you get signed from Sydney United? You said you made a debut at 16 for them.
I was part of
how did that come about?
The youth. I was in the youth system since I was 12.
Oh, in their youth system?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the youth system there, and then I was part of the Pro 22, and then I was part of all the selected programs, so the state teams and everything that you can do outside of that. So you could play for your club, you could pick a club, and then extra training as well. So I was training every single day. So I was obviously going to the academy, but you could call it academy, and then you can call it the club. And I was back and forth. And the weekends I'll play for the club, and then academy on Sundays. So
were you always a striker?
Yes, I was.
Since like day one.
Yeah, day one I've always been a striker. Before, when I was younger, I wasn't tall. I was very small. So back then I didn't have the height or the strength. I was very fast. I was very fast, and then I could get in behind. I could come in quick. I was very quick. I used to use my pace a lot. But then I got older and I had knee pains, and then I just shot up. And so yeah, now I'm 6'3", nearly 6'4", borderline. And
who was your inspiration as a striker growing up? Like, did you used to watch people? Like, who inspired you the most in terms of like scoring goals, be it playing up front? Like, is there anyone that your favorite player up front?
There's many. I like to pick and choose. I like a lot of strikers. It's just really hard to pick one. But
as a kid growing up,
I used to love Fernando Torres. So back in Liverpool days, and I was obsessed with Fernando Torres at that time when he was with Steven Gerrard, and they were competing for the title back then. And I used to love his pace and his flair, and you just go in behind and score goals. And then yes, that back then, that was my idol back then. And then now, like when I grew up, and I started analysing more strikers. So I used to love Luis Suarez. I used to think the way he used to move off the ball, on the ball, how he used to create. Just he was a threat constantly, and I love strikers that just create. Don't need to score, just create all the time, assists, goals, and just I like a striker knowing that defenders know that he could, wherever he is, he's still going to create. That's for me. That's a proper striker, not just now. For instance, the position's a bit changed, so strikers now they just sit in the box or they roam. That's not for me, or a hold up nine. No, I like a striker can do it all. You know, he can play in behind, come deep. He can do everything. So for me, Suarez, a bit of a Benzema. Harry Kane's a very good example as well. Comes in false nine. So these strikers I like. Those are the ones I like.
What about closer to home? Like let's say you're coming up as an Aussie kid, right? Obviously, you look at Socceroos, and Australia's been doing okay internationally. Is there anybody in the Australian team that kind of influenced you as a kid?
Oh, when I was younger, it was Harry Kill. Harry Kill was a phenomenal player, and I used to love his game as well. But he was more of a 10 winger, sometimes striker. Mark Viduka, classic striker. I think he gets overlooked with a lot of people. I think because he wasn't a big social media guy back then or nothing. He just played and went home. He was that guy, but machine. He was for Leeds United, an unbelievable striker. He could score from even when he was in Australia when he was younger. I don't know if you know, but he won it. He was like 18, got top goal scorer in the first league in Australia, and he was just 18 years old, and he was really a back-to-back years, I think it was, or something ridiculous. And he's an unbelievable striker, and I think strikers into in my country that's a striker to look up to. So definitely him and Harry Kill, and obviously the obvious Tim Cahill. I think for a guy with his credentials like what he did, Everton, top four, always competing and scoring goals and crucial goals. So them three mostly.
And so from Australia, you somehow, I saw that, in transfer market, looking at your career, somehow you had a spell in Spain for like Huesca youth team or under 19. How did the whole thing from, you were in Sydney making a debut at a young age, how did like the opportunity to go to Spain come about?
So I was playing still in the NPL system, and it was like a time now when you're that age, you obviously want to go further in your career. You can't just stay where you are. And I knew I have something to give to football, and I wanted to make a career out of it. So I got introduced to one of my my mentor. So I call him Ayman Adid. He was like my brother. So he runs a academy, and he told me to come to the academy and I want to develop you into better football. And back then, when you're 18, around there, 18, 19, even a bit older, you're thinking to yourself, what's he gonna help me a bit with, So, because you got that look persona, you're a bit older now, you're a kid. Look at certain players, 18, 19, they've got a bit of persona about them. So I felt like I had that, and obviously it's an attitude problem. Kids at that age, you need to calm down and be grateful. So yeah. And then when I met Ayman, it was just he told me, I'm going to train you to be a machine and learn the Spanish way, and I'm going to take you to Spain, and you have a trial, and you're going to sign. And it's very simple, but it's not that simple. So when I went to the training, I was ready to play against these kids and dominate. And we didn't get into any game, no shooting or nothing. It was literally like 1 hour and a half doing technique. And I got sick of it, because you're there, you think, what are you doing? Because no, you need to learn how to control a ball, kick a ball, scan, not to scan, all these things as a footballer that you think But I went there and I was horrendous. My technique wasn't that good. And he literally made me feel like I wasn't a good footballer. So then I opened my eyes up, and I literally went every single day with that, and it made me a better footballer. So then when I did go to Spain, I knew how to pass a ball, how to receive a ball, when not to receive the ball, when to run away from my defender. These little things add up. So, and those are 1%, as we call it. You can be a good footballer with the ball, but also without the ball. And, it makes you a better footballer. So, yeah, then I went there, and he took me to Spain, and wow, what a time.
You were there for how long?
I was there for about a year and a half, and then my visa didn't get extended, which was the problem, due to other circumstances, to be honest with you. But yeah, so when I was there, I had a contract for Huesca, and I had another offer for another two teams, so City Ambro, and then Rio Zaragoza.
Oh wow!
So these clubs were, but I signed for Huesca because I saw it as they were in the first league, they were in the La Liga, and I was training with the first team constantly, so they were allowing me to do that because they saw me as a prodigy. So it was just an unbelievable experience, and it was just surreal, to be honest with you.
Did you play much at that season?
So I played a few games. I played 8-9 games, and then with my knee injury, I did my meniscus tear. Then I had to get a surgery on that, and then I did another meniscus tear on my left side as well. So, and then that really pulled me back a lot. And then after that time, so after the year was nearly done, it was difficult because they saw me as something special, and then I couldn't play, and they're not willing to risk me sign again. It was just a difficult spot for me at the time. But yeah, and then I came back home devastated, to be honest with you. And then I said to myself, there has to be another way. Like, you need to focus. Like, you can't just give up now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then I came back, played a season for Sutherland, and then I went on from there. And then I was very disciplined from that. Made me to who I am today, to be honest with you. So I thank you, Amy, for that, and it built me to who I am. So.
What was it like going to a foreign country at that age? Did you go by yourself? Like, what was
I was by myself.
What was that like? Culture shock or?
Yeah, that's I think it's to understand. They want to make it so badly, but you understand the outside of football what you need to control and need to be disciplined about. Because I could send you over to a country, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna do really well, but you're not gonna realize that outside of football, what? You're gonna be in probably a really bad apartment. You're not gonna probably have food.
Isolated.
Who's gonna clean your clothes? Who's gonna wash your clothes? How are you gonna get to training? You're gonna worry about all these little stuff before you even touch the field. So that was a real culture shock to me. But to be honest with you, I was so ready for it. Like, I was so disciplined. I knew how to cook, clean. I think because my father prepared me, my mother as well prepared me so well for that circumstances as well as for that. And I was so ready. So I didn't have any fear of nothing. So, but it was hard, 100%. I used to walk to training in Spain, an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh my God!
Just to get to the
place.
Just to get to the
facility.
Just to get to a car spot to get picked up. Then another hour to go to Huesca. So I was living in Zaragoza, and another city, and then you have to go to. So I was meeting up in the M5. Like, I was meeting up in a highway to meet these other boys to pick me up to go to training. That was every day, and then I used to walk home as well, an hour and a half. If it's raining, it's raining. It is what it is. But that's just how it is. So that was my life.
Do you think that time in Spain helped you with this particular move to Hong Kong, like in terms of like adapting to a new culture, like being by yourself?
Yeah, of course, 100%. If you don't learn the culture, embrace it, you'll never get the best out of yourself in anything you do. So, because like, I don't like people that are being a bit stubborn. Sometimes they go to another country and they just do whatever they want. You got to embrace the culture. You got to see what people see here, and you got to feel what they feel. So, and that will get the best out of you as well, because you open your mind a bit more. So, and obviously the culture here is unbelievable, and it's brilliant here. So 100%. So when I went to Spain, I embraced the culture, and I used to love it. It's a different way of football. It's life. So football is life there. So, and Hong Kong's obviously developing into what they want for football reasons. And yeah, enjoy it and embrace it. So.
So after Spain, you go back to Australia. How did the whole big break to Western Sydney come about? Because obviously that's a big club in Australia, right?
Yeah, it's a massive club.
It's like one of the biggest clubs in Australia. So how did that call come, or how did the opportunity for you to go to there? Because that's a big move, surely.
Yeah, look, it was massive. So when I came back, I was very disciplined to do something in football. So I went to I actually went back to Spain.
Just to train or?
No, I went back to Spain to sign a contract.
Oh, nice.
But the funny thing is that, so when I had a year and a half off, not half off, sorry, I was playing for a club, Sunderland, and after that, I had an offer to go back in the third league, and I had an offer. I went there. I literally flown over there, and then I was ready to sign easily. And then as I was about to sign, my grandfather passed away. So, and that really affected me. That really got to me straight away. Like a day before I was about to sign, and I couldn't stop crying. So I literally couldn't. I told myself, why am I here? Like I want to go home. So I didn't end up signing, and I literally came home. And then that taught me another lesson, like obviously about family and everything, but it was just a very difficult moment. So then when I did come back, because I wanted to see my grandfather and all that, and then obviously it put me in a situation, what do I do for football? Do I still play football? Do I don't play football? What do I do? My dad just told me, your grandfather always told you to play football. So now you need to own up to him and make sure you fulfill your dreams and so he can watch you. You know, he has every right. So that encouraged me, and my family was there to encourage me to go further and wake up, like basically a wake up. My dad always used to say wake up. So wake me up and go forward. So after that, I came back and I got in touch with a guy, Nick Kuzman, which is another mentor of mine who's in Adelaide. And I went to Adelaide and I set a goal to myself in the league there in the second league there to be top goal scorer, but not just by 10 goals. I wanted to be top goal scorer, which no one's broken before, like it was 26 goals in like 2019 games or something like that. And I did that and we won everything that we could probably win. And then I thought I'll get an A-League contract then. Had a trial for Adelaide United, and I literally just got injured.
Oh,
So, and then it was a difficult moment again. So then I'm like to myself, after that season finished, I'm like, I did all that to get injured. Another step back, thinking to myself, what do I do? While I'm just gone for a whole month of just the thought process of saying, what's the next move? Do I go overseas? I'm sick of like always these things happening to me, but you got to keep going forward. So you can't just feel sorry for yourself. So then after that, I decided, because everyone talked about Sydney and Melbourne leagues, the NPL is very strong and very competitive. And if you can do it there, then they say you can do it in A-League. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. So I went to Sydney, and I went to a club called Marconi, and I went there and I said to my coach at the time, Seka and Flea, I love them to death. I said to Seka, I said to Flea, I want to win a championship. Off the bat, we're going to win the championship with me. And obviously when someone says that, you think they're very arrogant, whatever, but I said, no, I said that I can do it here, I'll show you. And then, funny enough, I get a contract offer to go to Ireland. Ireland, I had a contract, a club there, first league. And it was what I wanted. I had everything planned, it was beautiful. Didn't go through because someone absolutely sabotaged the deal. So funny enough, huh?
You would have been playing in Europe?
Yes.
So you would have been in Europe?
I would have been in Europe, yes. 110%. It was literally done and dusted. But I'm not going to name names, and I think this interview is not about naming names. But someone absolutely did not let me go to the thing.
So you end up staying in Australia?
Staying. No problem. And I just had a rage in me to prove for a lot of people. So stayed the season. We did really well. I did break my rib during the season as well, so I missed about 6 weeks from that, and I got a 4-week suspension, red card, which I'm not a foul player, red card, so I missed 10 games, but at the end of it, we won the championship. We won. I told them we'd be champions, and we won. And funny enough, when it came at the back end of the season for us to win the championship a month before. Not much people know this, so which is really really cool to tell you this. I had an offer to go to Macedonia. My background.
That's where your surname comes from?
Yes, Temelkovski. So I had an offer to go to a club there called Shkupi. They were really a decent club at the time. So they were finishing mid-table and they can qualify for Conference League.
Oh, nice.
So which is unbelievable. You think about it. So I'm talking and I'm saying I'm talking to my coaches. I might be leaving, and they're going, oh, this again, because obviously the first incident. But someone always told me, and it was Eamon, he always told me when something's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. So you need to realize that when someone says you a dream, it's not a dream. You know, you got to take in everything around it. So funny enough, I sat down there for about 2 days, or thinking about, do I get a release? Because they will release me now, but do I stay? And I'm thinking to myself, but what do I do when I stay? But if I do stay, I have to accomplish something that's not really been done, to be honest with you. So when I'm thinking about this scenario and I write it down on paper, I said, the semi-final, win the semi-final, score 3 goals, if you can, each game. So the semi-final, I scored 3 goals. And we absolutely did unbelievable the game. But before I wrote on the paper, I said, score 3 goals in the semi-final and be player of the match in the grand final. I'm like, that's doable. If you think about it, like keep saying, so it's doable, 100%. You get the first one, you get the second one, you get the third one, hat-trick. Man of the match, make sure you do your job, score goals, and get a man of the match and win the game. Keep saying to myself. And then surely a A-League contract will come by. Like, it will just come. So I told the club in Shkupi, the club's not going to release me, which I just said that's for the sake of them not calling me anymore, because I wanted to put more full focus on Marconi to win. And that's what happened. So semi-final comes, we win 6-2, I think it was. Scored a hat-trick in the first half. And then the grand final comes, and we win the grand final 3-0, I think it was, and I got man of the match. And then literally next day or the day after, I got a phone call. We want to give you a contract for West Sydney Wanderers. So that's what happens when you manifest and the power of your belief. So that's a cool story. And I still have the paper today what I wrote on.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's in my room. I just look at it like at time to time to tell you that if you put your mind to it and you really believe in it, you succeed. So that was a miracle thing. And then I was part of West Sydney Wanderers and being a full professional footballer and understanding the way of life in there. And I was grateful for that opportunity. So, and yeah.
How long were you at Western Sydney?
I was there for a year.
A full season?
Yeah, for a full season.
What was that like, that jump from second division to like the top Australian league? It
was tough because you need to understand in that environment, you're training every day, and you need to improve your fitness levels and improve your overall game and mental game as well, especially your mental game, because there'll be times that you're mentally not there and you need to be there. You need to work on that game. So yeah, it was tough, 100%. Obviously, I would love to play more minutes, but that's not up to me. That's up to obviously the coaches. So I played it in total of 78 minutes, and I still scored 1 goal. So I like to tell people, like, if you play me, I'll score goals for you. So, and I really want to prove that to my old club, but it is what it is, And I love that club, and I want that club to succeed in all terms, and always win. So if I ever end up back there, I'll give my all to that club. So, and because they gave me that contract and they believed in me, and I believe I can repay them back. So if it ever comes around, it comes around. It's no problem.
What was training like to someone? Because obviously you're
high intensity.
International players too, right?
Yeah, like I had Juan Mata, we had Brendan Barello.
That's crazy. Mata was there at the time?
Yeah, Brendan Barello, Nicholas Milanovic, these are all my mates as well. Zach Zaxford. There's a lot of players. Brillante. I can go on for days.
What was the training like with them?
No, it's unbelievable, but it makes you a better player. If you play better players, It makes you a better player. The intensity, the ball playing, just everything in general makes you a better player. And I thought that year as well, I thought we had an overall good squad, and I think people don't understand that the squad we had, we could have won everything, I think, in my opinion, because just going to training, I think everyone was competing as well. That's the thing you want. You want every player competing. You don't want every player slacking off.
Yeah.
I think everyone wanted to compete for spots. That was a good thing. And literally, it was a good thing.
So how did the call from Hong Kong come? Because you are at Western Sydney, Wanderers with like the likes of Mata and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
now, 1 year later,
Yeah.
you ended up in Hong Kong Premier League. How did that transition come about?
Look, I had offers to go overseas. So I had like Thailand, I had Vietnam, and I had Europe as well. So I had like Macedonia, and I think it was Romania, but I can't remember exactly. And then
Is that the first time in your career where there's so many options for you now? Like literally different countries all over the place.
I would like there's more options, yes, but I've always had options, I like to say, but this time it was more on the table, like you've got more now. So, and then I was like to myself, where do I go? Like, what's the right move? I obviously want to stay in the A-League, but I'm not willing to do what I went through again and play less minutes. I played less minutes, nothing. And I'll only stay if someone said to me, you gotta work for it and I'll play you. No problem. I'll be willing to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not willing to be on the side again. So I just wanted a coach that can put trust in me. And if you put trust in me, I'll 100%, I'll do whatever it takes to win or make sure it happens for the coach, you know what I mean? Or the club. So that's what I wanted. I wanted someone to believe in me, because that's what you play for, I know it's a job, but it is very important for players to know that, if you have the right coach and the right team, you stay. Even doesn't matter where you go. So, and then I was talking to one of my mates. He told me I can get you to Hong Kong. I was like, what's in Hong Kong? Tell me about it. Like, I want to know about it. And he was telling me all these clubs. So he told me Taipo, and he told me Kichi, Lehman, all these clubs. And I looked into it. I'm like, interesting, very interesting. And then we had a coffee, and he's just telling me like, Taipo, they're interested in you. They want to sign you. And I was like, okay. And he goes, they're playing AFC next year. It's big. I was like, wow, really? And they are the champions. If you want to go, they are the champions. So I was like, you know what? It just felt right. I was like, you know what? Okay, let's get more details about it. And then honestly, it literally happened in 2 days. Not even a day. So, and I was like, okay, now I need to decide. Do I sign it? And I told my missus, you know what? I think I'm gonna go to Hong Kong without her really knowing anything about anything. And I touched down here. That's right here.
How do you think the first season that not the full season yet, obviously you've been here for most of the season. Yeah. How do you think your first season has gone so far?
Look, it's been good. I think I've shown I can play here. And as well, my minutes as well, people don't know, I've only started 3 games, so in the Hong Kong League. But the AFC have played every game. So it's difficult. And my minutes to goal ratio is still good. I'm pretty sure. I think I've played maybe 400, 500 minutes, which is nearly 4, 5, or maybe 6 games, 7 games. So, and I've only started 3. So I wish I could play more and start, but that's football. Like, it is what it is. But the AFC, I think I've shown, and not just me, I think our players, our coaches, we've shown we can play AFC. You know what I mean? We've shown for Hong Kong, we can, you're versing Beijing, you're versing Vietnam, they're first as well. Yeah. We're versing not weak teams, they're very strong teams with a budget unbelievable. And I think we've shown that our club and our players that we have could easily play. So yeah, it's been good for me in general. And we're still competing, and we still got silverware to go for. And I think we're gonna obviously for me, I think we're gonna win it, because we're the way we are as players in our team. We want to win everything. So, and we have that mindset. So, yeah.
What do you think is the most memorable moment for you as a tackle player this season? One thing that stands out for you this season, the player for tackle.
For me, honestly, it's just the AFC games. I think they stand out the most.
Is it the atmosphere or
Yeah, like
just the
I just
energy, or-
love the energy of the crowd and the people that are passionate. Makes me enjoy my career more. So when people come and, like, for instance, the Macarthur game, we got a result against Macarthur, and besides, Macarthur have a very good squad. So we're gonna get a result there, and the crowd are full, cheering us on completely. And for me, that's memorable, you know. And we got the result at 2-1, even against Beijing, which I thought we could win, but it is what it is. It's football. It's 2-2 against a side that is market value, maybe I think 10 times more than our squad and the facilities they have, the stadium they have. So, and we draw against them. But the fans keep us, like, make us alive, make me alive, you know what I mean? So if we didn't have any fans, my job would be I wouldn't like my job, do you know what I mean? I love football, but me playing in front of fans, I love my job even more. So yeah, so that's probably the most memorable moments. So playing against Macarthur, the Vietnam team, these are all home games. The way, even though I enjoy them coming away, some of the fans, but us playing home here in Mongkok in front of everyone, it's the most enjoyable moments for me.
I mean, I have an answer for this myself, in my opinion. But best goal you have scored for Taiko so far? I know which one is mine. But
Probably the one obviously against Eastern, from, I don't know, 70 yards. I don't know how far. Maybe I don't even know. But yeah, that was probably my most memorable goal here. Obviously, and I haven't scored many. Probably scored 9, I think, so far. I don't know how many, 8, I don't know. But yeah, probably that one. And I'm thinking, what else have I? But that's obviously the most outrageous one, I think. So hopefully there'll be another one soon. So we'll see.
what is the last kind of like the goal now, from now to the end of the season? What do you aim to achieve with Taiko now?
For my goal is just to obviously score goals and assist and win games in my opinion, in myself. But as the goal for Taiko is win everything at all costs, and just be competitive and obviously compete for AFC again. Because I think that's what we deserve. I think we deserve another shot there, because look, any other club, obviously, I hope, if you're going to go to the AFC, just make sure you represent the country in Hong Kong well. Don't just go there for the sake of just going there, you know? So I thought we represented Hong Kong well, and we showed that we can play. And I think we deserve another shot, because I believe if we go again, we'll be more prepared and ready to obviously maybe qualify to the next stage. So that will be the goal. Yeah, and just finish the season off strong, and then that's the plan. So yeah.
Will whether or not Taiko make AFC determine kind of the future a little bit in that sense?
Look, I don't know. We haven't really discussed exactly about if I'm staying or if I'm going. Obviously, I would like to stay. I think the club it's a great club, great fans as well. But that's a tough one, because we're not finished yet. So, and we are where we are right now. So yeah.
Right.